Alright, how's it going, everybody? My name is Troy Harrison Chriest. You guys can just call me THC in the comments. Those are my initials. Today we're going to be talking about everything going on in Formula 1, F1, and just racing right now as it has been during this absolute silly season. All the news that is happening. I know this is not my normal content. I don't normally make F1 videos, but tomorrow is my dad's birthday, and every time I walk downstairs in the morning, I will tell him whatever F1 news that I saw the day before. And, yeah, he keeps telling me to make an F1 channel. No, I'm not making a new YouTube channel. I don't have the time for that. So here is F1 with an American. Because every F1 channel is a British dude. Those are the F1 channels I watch. Shouts out to Josh Revel and F1 Tomo. Those are my favorite channels. But let's get right into it. First things first, you're messing with the worst. Holy crap, Carlos Sainz has replaced Sebastian Vettel at Ferrari. We do not know what his contract is. There's no way it's more than Charles Leclerc. I imagine during this whole situation, Ferrari's losing a lot of money, not racing. So they probably, realistically, didn't want to pay another expensive driver. A lot of people thought that Daniel Ricciardo would have gone to Ferrari. He is just too expensive, and they're clearly going young with Charles Leclerc, who's what? 22, and Carlos Sainz, who is 25. I like the move. I like Carlos as a driver, but I kind of wanted him to do a few more years at McLaren with Lando. Even though we still have the 2020 season, it's going to be short. I wanted to see like what Carlos could have done at McLaren for a little bit longer, but I think it is a interesting move that he went to Ferrari. Honestly, Daniel Ricciardo would have probably been the better bet, the more experienced race winner, somebody who has actually won races in the past. How many has Danny Rick won? Like 9, 12 races or something like that? But yeah, Ferrari went cheap, they went young, they went for the best experience that they could get with experienced young drivers. So Charles Leclerc with what? 11 podiums and 2 wins? Partnered up with Carlos Sainz, who is 25 years old and has never won a race. I think that is the weird part of it for me, just the fact that they went after a driver who's never won a race. And he finally got his first podium this year due to a penalty from somebody else. It wasn't even like a proper podium. That aside, I do still like Carlos as a driver. I just think it's a weird move. I really, really wanted Ricciardo to have that spot, but if you saw what McLaren actually paid him, oh my god, they paid him like $35 million per season, and we do not know how long the contract actually goes for. So this is kind of a weird driver swap. Vettel leaves Ferrari, Sainz goes to Ferrari, and then Daniel Ricciardo takes Carlos Sainz's spot at McLaren. And wow, I mean, I don't even understand like why Daniel did not sign with McLaren to begin with. It doesn't make any sense. Zach Brown originally wanted him over Carlos Sainz and was willing to pay for it, but he went to Renault. Anyways, Daniel Ricciardo has signed with McLaren for 2021 alongside Lando Norris. What a crazy year, and where does this leave Sebastian Vettel? A lot of people are saying he has a few spots to land in, but I think the only obvious place for him to go, the only obvious place, is Mercedes. That's just what I think. I mean, who would not want to see Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton on the same team in equal hardware, both getting epic qualifyings in the Mercedes and also just going balls out racing together? You wouldn't know who's the 1 or 2 driver. It probably would be Lewis, but I don't see Seb going. He's obviously not going back to Red Bull. Red Bull have already said, Mr. Marco said that there's no way they're going to pay 2-star drivers at Red Bull. They have their alpha and they have their beta. Max Verstappen is the A driver, Alex Albon is the B driver. That's how Red Bull does it. They don't pay 2 big guys. They just don't have the money. They just don't. They like to spend that money in R&D elsewhere. They're not going to pay 2 superstars. So Red Bull's out. Would Sebastian Vettel go to Renault? No, I just don't think he would. It's not a competitive car. It doesn't seem like an environment that he would even want to work in. German driver at a French team. I know Nico Hülkenberg was German, but it just doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. And him partnering with Esteban Ocon, does that seem like a good drive pairing? No. The most obvious thing for Renault is going to be either Fernando Alonso or Pastor Maldonado. Personally, I want to see Fernando Alonso come back. A lot of people are big fans of Pastor Maldonado. I didn't really watch any of his racing. That could be an option, but yo, Seb is not going to Renault. He's obviously not going to McLaren. Both of those spots are tied up for 2021. He's not going to Williams. He would never. Why would he? Just wouldn't. Williams, no offense, Williams fans, they're the worst. He would not go to Haas. There's no chance in the world. Gunther Steiner is basically the most toxic person in the world, and Seb is like the most laid-back and chill driver person that we know in Formula One. There's no way he would ever go to Haas. And the other option is the newly forming Aston Martin team, which is being formed out of Force India Sports Pace at Racing Point and is now going to be rebranded as Aston Martin. The one thing that could happen would be Lawrence Stroll buying out Sergio Perez's contract, even though he's locked in till 2024, I do believe. It might be 2023. I think it's 2024. So he would have to buy out Checo's contract, even though Checo is the best driver on that team. Lance Stroll isn't going anywhere. His dad owns the team. Possibly I could see Seb going there if it's rebranded as Aston Martin and they are as competitive as they have been in 2020 early winter testing, but it just doesn't seem like an option at all. It just doesn't seem right. I think in 2021, either Sebastian Vettel retires or he replaces Valtteri Bottas at Mercedes, and then Bottas replaces Romain Grosjean at Haas. It's kind of my predictions for 2021 and where Seb's going to go and what's going to happen with this driver market. I believe Fernando Alonso will come back. I believe the rebranded Aston Martin team, the Racing Point, will just literally be Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez again. Who knows about Williams? Who cares? Nicholas Latifi will be there for a while. We don't know if Mercedes is actually going to upgrade George Russell from Williams to Mercedes anytime soon, but it just doesn't seem like the year. I feel like they give Bottas another year. His contract expires in 2021. It would be almost idiotic for Toto Wolff to not sign Sebastian Vettel to Mercedes. Can you imagine? And Toto Wolff has literally said, right now they are loyal to their current drivers, correct? But they are looking, or he said they are loyal to their current drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Bottas. Lewis's contract is expiring, but both parties want to renew. But with Bottas out in 2021 and Seb out in 2021, how would you not swap those two drivers? How would you not? Right? Sebastian Vettel, 4-time world champion. Partner him up with Lewis Hamilton, 6-time world champion, and probably by 2021, 7-time world champ. Come on, dude. Come on. Maybe Mercedes wouldn't want that 1-2 driver like rivalry like they had with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, but it just seems like the right move. Seems like the right move. So yeah, Carlos Sainz to Ferrari, Daniel Ricciardo to McLaren, and I believe Seb will sign with Mercedes sometime before the end of the 2020 season. I don't know why my camera is not focused. Oh well. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know if you want me to make more F1 videos. Happy birthday, Dad. Hopefully this was worth it. Peace.